YSU football prepares for the homecoming game.
And women's lacrosse makes history.
All this and more coming up on the Penguin Rundown. Welcome into the Penguin Rundown. I'm Kelsey Norris alongside Katie Rogers-Vidala. Katie, it sounds kind of weird, but we have homecoming this weekend in March. I'll be at the game. What about you?
Yeah, hopefully I'll be at that game, but I'm more hoping that the football team comes out with a win and ends this losing streak.
Yeah, but before that, I think you're going to get us started with some softball.
The softball team split a 4-game series against the Horizon League preseason #1 UIC Flames. In the first doubleheader, Youngstown State defeated the Flames 5-2, but lost the nightcap 0-4. In Game 2, senior Maddie Lusk had 7 strikeouts and allowed 3 hits in her complete game. Sophomore Alex DeLeon had 2 runs scored while going 2 for 3 at the plate, and freshman Haley Nidacor contributed an RBI and 2 hits. Freshman Conchetta Rinaldi drove in 2 runs and acquired the first home run of her career. Then in the second game, Rinaldi went 2 for 3 while junior pitcher Ellie Buffenbarger tied her career strikeouts with 13. In the first game of the second doubleheader, sophomore Gracia hit a walk-off double to give YSU the edge over the Flames 2-1. Buffenbarger struck out 12 batters and allowed only 3 hits and 2 walks in the victory. However, the Flames would come back for redemption in the nightcap, defeating Youngstown State 2-1. Maddie Lusk allowed 3 hits and struck out 8 in the hard-fought loss. The team will head to Detroit, Michigan this weekend in a 4-game series against the Detroit Mercy Titans. The Gwins and the Titans will have 2 doubleheaders, one on Friday and one on Saturday.
The baseball team traveled to Dayton this past weekend to take on the Wright State Raiders in a 4-game series. To open up the series, the Raiders exploded for 19 hits and beat YSU 12-2 in Game 1. Youngstown State lost a heartbreaker in Game 2 of the series. Pad O'Shaughnessy hit a solo home run in the 5th inning to take the lead for Youngstown State. But Wright State would score 2 runs with 2 outs in the 6th and beat YSU 2-1. Game 3 did not go in favor for the Penguins either, as Wright State scored at least 1 run in 7 consecutive innings. They took down the Penguins 14-5 and have a 3-0 series lead heading into the finale on Sunday. YSU outfielder Dominic Bucco singled in the 2nd inning of Game 4 and got the Penguins the early lead. The bats went cold after that as Wright State scored 6 consecutive runs to win Game 4 6-1, sweeping the Penguins in the weekend series. Youngstown State will play out of conference this weekend as they take on St. Bonaventure in their home opener. You can listen to the game on ysnlive.com or follow the stats at ysusports.com.
The volleyball team took the short trip to Cleveland State on Monday and Tuesday to take on the Vikings. On Monday, the Penguins fell in 3 sets with scores of 25-21, 25-15, and 25-12. Senior Margot Thompson moved from her normal libero position to outside hitter and led the team with a match-high 9 kills and a .240 attack percentage. Thompson also added an ace and 7 digs for YSU. The defensive effort was led by sophomore Riley Seagroves, who had 12 digs. Following this match, the Gwins sit at 3-8 overall. The volleyball team was back on the court Tuesday as they closed out their trip to Cleveland State. For the final results and stats, check out ysusports.com. Up next, the women are at home on Monday and Tuesday as they take on the Oakland Golden Grizzlies.
On Monday, sophomore Chase Easterling competed in the men's 10,000-meter race at the NCAA Division I Cross-Country Championships in Stillwater, Oklahoma. He became the first ever male runner to represent YSU at the NCAA Championships by having the 200th fastest time in the field in the men's race. He posted a time of 32 minutes and 50.6 seconds. Easterling earned the Horizon League's automatic individual bid to nationals, following the win in the league's 8,000-meter race on March 4th. Congratulations to Easterling and the rest of the cross-country team on their season.
The women's bowling team ended their regular season competition at the Midwinter Invitational last weekend. The team finished 4th overall, and freshman Madison Marks tied for 5th overall in the tournament. She has the 2nd highest in program history at 220.67. Freshman Kirsten Moore placed 13th overall, and Marks led the team to the final championship bracket with 2 wins on Saturday, but were ultimately beat out by McKendree. The team travels to New Orleans this Friday for postseason play at the Southland Bowling League Championship. Be sure to check out YSUsports.com for updates. And for more on the bowling team, we're going to send it over to Kyle and Monica at the roundtable.
Welcome into the roundtable. I'm Monica Kurjan alongside Kyle Wills. Kyle, today we're talking women's bowling. This is really exciting for us. They've had a very successful season thus far, and they're one of the most successful teams on campus, and they don't always get the recognition that they deserve. So I'm very excited to be talking about them this week. Like I mentioned, they've had a successful season, and they have big things coming up. This weekend, they're headed to the Southland Bowling League Championships. Who has stood out to you thus far in the team?
Well, the freshmen have really stood out to me, especially this past weekend in the tournament. It was highlighted by the freshmen in Madison Marks and Kirsten Moore. Marks had the top individual score on Saturday with a total of 1,160 over 5 games, and Moore contributed with another 1,068 pins, and it really helped YSU finish in the top 4 this past weekend.
That's very exciting that we have these freshmen who are really contributing to the team. When we talk about the team, we also need to talk about the upperclassmen, the ones who have really set the groundwork for the team, and that's the two Emmas. We have senior Emma Dockery and junior Emma Wren. Dockery leads the team in games with 36, pins with 6,964, and she has the highest game this season with 273. She also has 14 games over 200. And then junior Emma Wren is right behind Dockery. She's competed in 35 games. She has 6,922 pins, and she averages a 197.77 per game. So it's really, really nice to see all of these players gelling together. So this is the perfect time to be headed into the postseason. So what expectations do you have?
Well, this season they've battled through adversity quite a bit, and every single tournament they've been in, they've put themselves in a chance to make it into that championship bracket, just like this past weekend. And Kabursi said that they are close, that he feels like they're close to their peak, and with the championships coming up this weekend, it's the best time to feel like that collectively they're playing the best that they are playing.
Exactly. This tournament this weekend could not come at a better time. I'm super excited to see how the team does, how they fare, if they can gel together, and like Coach said, this is where they're going to reach their peak, and this is the perfect time to do it. So that is all the time we have here at the roundtable. Best of luck to the women as they compete this weekend. Kelsey and Katie, back to you.
Thanks, Monica and Kyle. The YSU men's tennis team had a back-to-back winning weekend against both Ashland University and Duquesne University. First at home, they wiped the floor against Ashland, beating all opponents in doubles play. They also won 5 of the 6 single matches against Ashland at the YSU Tennis Center. After winning overall in a landslide 7-0, the team was not quite done yet. Traveling the next day, they secured a 6-1 victory over Duquesne Sunday. The team took the brief trip to Pittsburgh, where they competed at the Alpha Tennis and Fitness Center. The previously undefeated Dukes were no match against the doubles duos of YSU. Senior Vasilis Vardakis and junior Eric Grahn competed in the number 1 spot for YSU. They swept the court with a 7-5 win over Ashland. The next day, Vardakis and Grahn won 7-5 again against the Dukes. Senior freshman duo João Goreto and David Alvarez Moreno competed in the number 2 seat against Duquesne and Ashland. They walked away with wins in doubles, both at home and away. And in the number 3 seed at Pittsburgh, freshman Asir Pena Ibanez and senior Laurencio Montesquieu won again. They won 6-2 against Ashland at home, then 7-5 against the Dukes away. Congratulations to the men's team on a spectacular performance. Next weekend, they'll be competing at home to open the first Horizon League match against IUPUI.
The women's tennis team opened up Horizon League play this past weekend as they hosted Milwaukee. On Saturday, the Penguins had a strong performance in singles play as they beat Milwaukee 4-3. Eliska Masarakova, Jessica Stanmore, Elvira Esteo, and Cecilia Rosas all picked up wins. On Sunday, the women beat the Panthers 6-1. The duo of Jessica Stanmore and Claudia Barboza picked up a doubles win, as did Tamara Tufel and Eliska Masarakova. YSU then won 5 of their 6 singles matches in straight sets with wins from Rosas, Zagar, Esteo, Masarakova, and Stanmore. The women's tennis team now sits at 9-7 overall and 2-0 in the Horizon League. Up next, the Gwins host Cleveland State on Saturday and Sunday, all at 2 p.m.
The football team was back in action this past Saturday afternoon as they traveled to South Dakota to take on the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. The Penguins lost in a nail-biter 19-17. Freshman quarterback Mark Wade was 7 for 13 through the air for 55 total yards. Junior running back Jaleel McLaughlin had 26 carries for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Jackrabbits took a quick 10-0 lead in the first quarter until McLaughlin put the first points up on the board for the Penguins. This was through a 42-yard touchdown run to make it 10-7. Then in the third quarter, SDSU scored another touchdown to make it 16-7, heading into the fourth quarter. And in the final quarter, YSU scored 10 unanswered points to take a 1-point lead until South Dakota State hit the game-sealing field goal with 31 seconds left in the game, ending with 19-17. Youngstown State is looking for its first win of the season this weekend as they host the South Dakota Coyotes at Stambaugh Stadium. Time is set for noon, and you can watch it all on ESPN+.
The women's golf team traveled to Low Country Intercollegiate last weekend at Beer Creek Golf Club in Hilton Head, South Carolina. The team finished 10th with a 2-round team total of 622. Senior Caitlin Shutt tied for 9th place to lead the Penguins over the weekend. Shutt finished with a 2-round score of 147 to earn her second top 10 finish of the season. Shutt's best round was the second round, where she shot a season-low 73, including 15 pars and a birdie. The Penguins will be back in action this weekend as the team travels to Neville Meade Collegiate, hosted by Cleveland State in Prospect, Kentucky.
The women's lacrosse team won their very first game on Saturday, 12-7, against McFoy Detroit Mercy. The Penguins' offensive attack was led by freshman Lauren Ottensmeyer, who netted a program-best 5 goals. Freshman Emma Carter and freshman Erin Clark also notched multiple goal outings during the game. Senior goalkeeper Alicia Wells had another notable performance in the cage, posting 11 saves on 23 of the Titans' shots. Ottensmeyer helped the Penguins to their biggest lead of the game after netting her third goal with 16 minutes and 37 seconds left in the half. This forced the Titans to burn a timeout. Next, Ottensmeyer scored her 4th goal and gave the Penguins the 5-goal lead with under 14 minutes to play. The Youngstown State lacrosse team will be back in action March 19th against Central Michigan in the program's home debut at Farmers National Bank Field at 7 p.m. And now we'll send it over to Abigail Cloutier, who has this week's Penguin Play of the Week. Abigail?
This week's Play of the Week goes to Grace Sia of the softball team. Let's take a look. Sia turns on an inside pitch and sends it to deep left field off the base of the wall for a walk-off double. The Gwins were tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th, and Sia's hit lifted them to a 2-1 win and a victory huddle at second base. Congrats to Sia and the softball team on a great win. Katie and Kelly, back to you.
Thanks, Abigail. That's all for this week's episode of the Penguin Rundown. For news, highlights, and more, be sure to check out YSUsports.com and follow us on social media at Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Penguin Rundown 1. I'm Kelsey Norris.
I'm Katie Rogers-Videla.
Have a great week, Penguins.